Today we're going to build a Latin translation app. If you're just getting started with Kotlin or if you have a bit of experience, this is the perfect project for you. We're going to go through a bit of the code, we're going to build a fun app, and it's kind of a quick project. So that being said, I've already started up Android Studio and I'm going to click Start a New Studio Project. We do want it empty. Go ahead and hit Next there. Make sure this is Kotlin, obviously, and then name my big Latin app, I guess is what I'm naming mine. Latin app. I'm leaving it all lowercase. It's easier for me that way. And that's all good. Let's hit finish. And it will take a second to build. All right, and there we are. So first, let's start on the design elements of it, right? Because we need to have the interface to have something to code. So we're headed over to the activity main, right? Now, I don't want a constrained layout. I would like this is easier for me in code real quick. I'm going to switch to text. I'm getting rid of this constrained layout. And I would like we would like a relative layout. And there we are. Okay. Now I'm going to start this in the design mode because it's in the design, not the text mode. It's somewhat easier for getting started with this type of application. So let's start first. I'm just going to get rid of Hello World. So I clicked on it. I'm hitting delete. I'm going to put my button, and this button will be used for the submission of the word that our user is going to want to translate into Pig Latin. Okay, and so button for the text, we're only going to have one button, so we could change that if we wanted to something more descriptive. Maybe just submit will be the name of it. Okay, and then we want wrap content. Wrap content is good. And now we're going to want to center it. So instead of searching, instead of looking myself, I'm going to click search and I want center. And we want it center horizontal, definitely. We also, though, want it center. Oh, this we're just going to have, I'm trying to think here, vertical. Let's align parent bottom, align parent. That's what we need right here. Align parent bottom. And what we want that is true. So we click on it here. That looks good. And then the margin on the bottom. Margin bottom. I'm going to try 120 EP for my margin. Let's see what that's like. Yeah, that's a good spot for it. Okay. And then the width of our button width is, I was thinking maybe 250 EP, something like that. And a little bit of space, and then of course we need the height, and maybe 60 or 80, this is kind of personal preference. I'll try 60 dp, see what that looks like. That's looking good to me. And now we want the text color, right? So text color, and I'm going to do white, which is FFF, 6 of those, and then I can change while I'm here button text, and I'm just going to have it say submit. Ooh, you know what? Let's have it say translate. Perfect. And then the text size. I think I put mine, let's try 22 SP. It's looking good. And a background color. Obviously, you can use whatever color you would like. I'm going to go with some default here. Let's see how that looks. Maybe that. Beautiful. Or maybe that. All right. So there is our button. Now, we are going to need some text view. So what I mean by that is, well, a text view. we're going to use this for two separate things. We are going to have one that states the title, okay? And then we're going to have one that is for the output from the user. I dragged two on here, which is a bit confusing, but that's because I'm going to hit Shift, or I can select both of them. That's because they're going to have many similar properties. And so I can just set them up together, such as the color of the text. Okay. So their text color, I'm going to have both be white. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to have them both have a horizontal, centered horizontally. Ta-da. Okay. And then I'm also going to want both are going to have a similar text size. And this is going to be larger, let's say 32 SP. Okay. Now, that being said, we need background colors. I might leave these the same, I might not. Let's see. Maybe, color background. There we are. I was thinking blue for these. Okay. And now let's start moving them around because they are separate. This is going to be our output area. So when the user inputs some text, this is where their results will appear. So I'm going to give it the ID of output text, I guess. And then I want it to be about 190 below this. We should give this an ID. This is going to be our title of our page. So I want it to be about 190 below the title. You know what? Let's have it do 190 below the top. So let's just do top margin, because we can, yes, that's what we'll do. 190 dp, and there we are. Now you can actually see that text. All right. And that should be here. Oh, we actually don't need this to have, yeah, let's get rid of it. It shouldn't have any text since it's going to only pop up once the user enters something. It's going to show the result. So let's get rid of the text and it's gone. All right, now let's move on to our title. Title, I already put that ID. I'm going to say pig Latin generator. I know, I am infinitely creative, inventive with my titling abilities. That's definitely not true. Okay, and then let's do a different top margin. So margin, top, let's try 40 maybe. BP, that's looking good. And actually I'm gonna have our title have a larger font size. I want maybe 40. SP, you gotta remember that that is gonna be different than, and now I'm typing in bold, it's SP for text. And yep, bold's good. And then a bit of padding, which puts room around our, around the actual object between the background. So the background will expand. Maybe 10 dp. Let's see what that looks like. Great. So that will be our title. And then the last thing we're gonna need is our spot to actually enter text. So we want plain text. We're going to just drag and drop. And then what we need with this guy is, ID. Let's call this a text box because it's where the user is going to enter their text. And then we're going to center with the parent. So center and parent is what we would need. And notice what this does. Okay, center and parent. So it copies the centering aspects of the parent. And then let's provide a hint, because they are going to be typing in this. So the hint is what just, you can't actually submit the hint, but it will appear for the user. It can give instructions, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm writing type a word, okay? And to make sure that pops up, we're going to get rid of the default text here. Bye. And then we can pick a background color or things of that nature. I'm going to do some padding as well. So let's do text color. I'm going to have them all be white. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And then size. I was going to go larger than this. Let's try 28. Ooh, that looks huge. Let's do 26. Okay. And then a background color. Oh, have it. Oh, got to go to background. And I missed the R. I'm not really the best at matching. All right, and then let's do some padding. I'm gonna go with 10 dp on this. And I need to change the hint text. So the hint text color and FFF. All right, that is looking good to me. I wonder if I shouldn't have these be the same. What if the output text, we already used orange, was green maybe? We'll see what that looks like. I guess we'll find out once we get the code done. All right, so that is the layout. And if you want to see more of it, well, there's all the text of what we just did. When I was originally creating this, to be frank, I copied this, pasted it, and just switched up some of the stuff. That can often be a more rapid way to arrive at our same result. So now we're going to be moving on to the Kotlin. So this is what we start out with, and this looks great. We need to, let me just double check. Yep. Yes. So first we're going to declare some needed variables. Our variables are going to be representing our elements on the screen. So I'm going to be declaring one for each item. Let's start with our text box input, where the user would start anyways. And what we're going to need here is to use find view. It pops up here, so you could finish typing it, or you could just hit tab if you would like them to. Find view by ID. Now, inside of find view by ID, you're going to hit R dot ID, and then what we gave the ID for the item that we're assigning a variable name to. So I name mine text box, and there it is. I can always just hit tab and it will auto fill that for me. Okay? And then we need to make sure to cast it. All right, so we need to cast this in Kotlin using as, and then what is it? It is a, it's not text view, as edit, oops, not what I wanted, as edit text. So now we are casting it. So it can be assigned to our variable. All right, and then our next one we're going to do is our button. What would they hit next? So variable submit etn equals find, and if I hit tab, I want to show you, you need to, right? So I like using that. That's a little shortcut. But if you do, we need to get rid of these. We're not going to be using them right now. So once I do that, I can just do RID, and then my button's ID was submit, I believe, hopefully. And then space as right? Because we need to cast this as well. Button. All right. And now, finally, we're going to use variable where we're going to output the text. Output text is going to be equal find, and then I need to get rid of those, r.id. Output text, and then that is a text view. And so just make sure you are casting each of these to be able to be correctly assigned or to be correctly defining your variable. Oh, it's grumpy. Oh, so notice what it's saying here. Well, if I can get it back up. Android widget text view. Alt enter and it will just import it up. It will put the import of it up here to cover my bases. All right, that's all we're going to need for variables. Now we're going to get into a on submit, or a set clicker. Submit btn, yep, that's what I called it. Set on clicker listener. I just hit tab. Set on clicker listener. We don't need these, right? These parentheses, I'm getting rid of them. We do need curly brackets, so I'm adding some curly brackets. Now, I'm going to have a new variable at the top here. I'm just going to call it str, which is going to be our string. And what it's going to be equal to is the text box input, right? So this is what we get up here. And I'm going to say dot text, because I want the text of it. And I'm going to put it to string. The reason I am making sure to cast it to a string is because if the user were to only enter 555 or 666, something of that nature, I want to make sure that Kotlin, that the computer understands we need it to be converted into a string. So I'm grabbing the text box, which was equal to what? Well, it's actually representing the text, the edit text item. I'm grabbing it, I'm grabbing the text from it, and I'm making sure to convert it to a string and assigning that to my variable str. Next up, I need one more variable, and that's going to be our output variable. I'm going to set this equal to air multiple words, okay? Because we only want one word. Our Pig Latin generator, our Pig Latin translator is just going to be worried about a single word. And now we're going to need an if statement. So if str.contains, right? So if str contains space, that's how I'm going to know there's more than one word. If it contains a space, oops, I wanted not. So only if it does not contain a space. If it does not contain a space, well, then what we're going to do is we're going to reassign output, and it is going to be equal. Now this is going to get a bit tricky. Str dot take last str dot length minus 1. So what we're doing here is Kotlin has take last, and that means take the last characters of a string. But we have to tell it how many. Well, for our Pig Latin translator, it is going to take all of the characters but the first, right? That's what we want here. So output's going to equal all of our characters but the first right now. Then what do I want? Well, I want to add to that. I want to add the first character to the very end. So I'm going to say str take, notice not take last, take, and what do I want to take this time? Well, it's just 1. I just need the one character at the very beginning. Then finally, to make sure it's actual Pig Latin, which actually isn't a thing, I'm going to concatenate a y on the end of it. So we got all the characters but the first at the beginning. We add the first to the back, and we add AY, and we assign that to output. And that is only if the entry contains no spaces. Otherwise, output would be left alone. Okay, let me make sure I got my brackets good. That's good, and that's good. All right, now what we need to do is output text. My goodness, there we go. Output text dot text equals output. Okay? And so we're saying, all right, now change the screen, make output dot text makes the actual text of this output text object of this text view equal to the output we just created here. Okay. All right, I'm going to do save. I'm going to do a save. And let's see what bugs we got, because I'm sure there's a few. There always is, but right now there's no explanation points, so that's a good sign. Okay, I'm going to play or run. Hopefully you've already installed an emulator. If not, you can have the enjoyable time of doing that. I already have one ready to go, so I'm going to hit OK. Processes. Ooh, so that looks promising. And let's see. Hello. Check. And translate. But, okay, let's see if the error works. Hello world. Cool. And I don't even know. I'm going to put in my name. Now it's going to leave the cat because we didn't do anything with that. I'm having too much fun with this. World. Okay. You, I think, get the point. So here's the deal. I'm going to post all the code below, right, for both of my files. And again, this is just a simple task to get your feet wet with Kotlin. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'll do a few more of these. If you're still watching, make sure you like this. Make sure you hit subscribe. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. It creates world peace. It gives butterfly wings, unicorns, something, something, something. But yeah. Check out the code below. If you make something really cool based on this, make sure to send me a link.